Hello and welcome back to my craft room. Well, I have just finished opening a couple of surprise packages, one from Maggie Morris here in the UK and one from Kathy Hanson in Australia. I've still got one major surprise I've been keeping. I've had this for at least 2 days. I think it's 3 days I've had this and been itching to get in there. It's from the lovely Christine Oakley of Create and Craft with Christine, and I've got a little bit of a clue about what's in there because of what was written on the customs label. So this has come all the way from Australia. Oh, I'm so excited to get in. I can't tell you how much I'm really looking forward to opening this. So let me get in there. I've taken the address off so I can take you to the desk now. Christine's been away on an amazing retreat. So I've been following her progress on it. She's managed to, I don't know how she's done it, but she's managed to get a video out every day showing us what she's been up to. And I thought, oh, it just looks like the most amazing experience. The people she's working with, the teacher, the incredible project that she's working on just looks so inspiring. And the lovely place they're staying in, yeah. She said Alex and Travers are enjoying it as well as her. So. Now I'm going to make sure I don't leave anything behind. I don't think I have. Oh my word. Oh, what? Bit of overwhelm there for a second. Blimey. I knew that felt really densely packed, that bag, but look. Now is there a note in here anywhere? It's one of her pouches. Look, it's a pouch. You know what? She must have... How long does it take to get from here? And I mean, either she read my mind in advance or she put this together after she saw my video where I've been pulling together all the supplies for my vintage stitchery project that I'm going to start working on. I'm going to be following along with Christine's Dictionary of Stitches. I will of course leave a link to Christine's channel below. Her Dictionary of Stitches, she put out like just a little short 10 minutes or so video every day. There were 175, I think it was, videos altogether, working all through the alphabet, learning different types of stitches, and I wanted to follow along. Didn't have time to follow along at the time, but I thought, well, I'll come back to them and I'll make a little book, and I wanted to use all vintage supplies. So I pulled together, I haven't got it handy, I pulled together my supplies the other day. I had some vintage fabrics and things to use, and I had a whole load of those vintage threads, which if you're a regular viewer you might remember Miss Cheatham's thread collection that I bought off of eBay. And I pulled together these kind of peaches and pale kind of duck egg blues and things, and you know, soft kind of colours like that for it. And these, it just, I mean, is it just a coincidence, or did she watch that and then put this together? In which case it's got here so fast. I need to gather myself and enjoy going through this. I haven't found a note or anything yet. I don't know if she's put one in. I mean, even these, look. Oh, there we go. Oh no, it's a card. That's a button card. They have in... I'm a bit... So in this country we have charity shops. In America you have thrift stores. In Australia they have op shops, and Christine says that means opportunity shops, which I think is such a lovely name for them. And she just finds these amazing vintage. I don't think it's all from op shops. I think she goes to other sources as well. She gets things from the reverse art trucks sometimes. If you're interested in that kind of thing, she does these Thursday thrifty haul videos. So she does one every Thursday, and I mean she's either got a real knack or they're really. I look every time I go past any of our local charity shops. I never find anything. Very rarely anything kind of nice vintage linens or anything like that. And Christine, like me, has got a real love of old things and reusing things rather than letting them go into landfill. And yeah, we're very much kindred spirits in lots of ways, as are many of us in this wonderful community of ours. Okay, I'm going to close this up again, and I'm going to take this from the beginning and enjoy every little bit. I couldn't decide this morning whether to sit and just enjoy it quietly by myself, as I've been on my own. It's my birthday today, so I've been on my own all day doing as I please. And we had a lovely day out yesterday with my husband John and my son Tom. So I was quite fine being by myself today. Lots of lovely things that I've been doing. And yes, I was almost tempted to just sit and enjoy this by myself, and then I thought, no, it's a shame not to open it on camera, because I'm sure you'll enjoy seeing it too. So this is a lovely kind of it's like a chintz with a sort of finish on it. Absolutely beautiful. And these are the kind of colours that I pulled out for my vintage book, stitchery book. Oh wow, Christine, you are amazing. Can you see my goose pimples are up? And I'd be dribbling. She's got a massive collection of buttons. She's got a whole lot of buttons, her Nana's buttons, that she uses in her projects, and I love the way she takes each button, and because buttons fascinate me, and they're just like little treasures, you know. I think Christine feels the same way. I'll set yourself down. I said, we're going to be here a while. For anybody out there who doesn't like long, chatty videos looking through fabric, you need to swipe left or whatever it is. Look at those. Oh, some Suffolk puffs. They're vintage Suffolk puffs as well. Oh, look. Again, will fit so well in with my colour scheme. This is really unusual. Look at the edging on it. I haven't seen anything quite like that. And the whole thing is elastic. Oh, a little bit. I love using little bits of selvage. It's always good. Beautiful colours. I think she must have put this together after she'd seen my vintage stitchery video. She must have. It's too much of a coincidence. Oh my goodness me. Just seriously, Christine, just that little package in that, I would have been thrilled with just that. Look at these pieces. My word. Lovely cotton prints. Lovely, lovely cotton prints. Lovely to stitch into the lines. I can do some thread painting. Christine's really good at thread painting, and it's something that's been on a back burner for me, wanting to try for ages. These would be perfect for a bit of thread painting, definitely, because as well as working through the dictionary of stitches, I can also do some, you know, making little hexagons, Suffolk puffs, thread painting, things like that as well can all come into my little dictionary of stitchery. Lovely bit of Hessian there. Forgotten what burlap. It's called burlap in America, isn't it? Hessian to me. I'm not sure in Australia, is it Hessian? I think they call it Hessian in Australia as well. Look at this. So many thread painting opportunities. She might have remembered that I keep saying I want to try it, and she's deliberately put in some things that will work really well for that. But they just fit in with my colour scheme so beautifully. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, I put some pieces of this in some of the stitchery packs I've just been making up. Some very, very like this, and I found it so hard to part with, but it was so perfect to go in the pack. I made myself do it, and now I've got some more. Oh, look at my goose pimples. So all of that was just in this pouch. And I can work further. I can use this as a base and work more onto this pouch as well, can't I? I love the way everything is wrapped up in. Oh my word, look at it. These are silk ribbons. And this little narrow silk ribbon you can use. So I can use these for silk embroidery. I can do little ribbon roses with them. I love these. I did treat myself to some of this a couple of years ago, and then yeah, I haven't got any more. That is so lovely to have. I never tried the wider ones. They're so lovely to embroider with, I think, because they're so soft, being silk. Nothing else would work quite the same way. Oh, beautiful. And they're all wrapped up in. I'm just thinking of beautiful flower garden. Oh, they're all wrapped up in this lovely vintage linen piece. Oh, look at this. At some point somebody has started embroidering but not finished. And this would be really nice to do some of the stitches on. I love how you can see how they've marked it out to work on. I wonder what the plan was here. Yeah, that's going to be excellent for doing some of the stitches on. I love this. I wonder what the people would think who worked on this originally. Little beads in the centre of all those flowers. What they would think if they could see me here now on the other side of the world doing a YouTube video and showing their work. Oh, a piece of linen. And a really lovely colour, lovely background colour. It's slightly warmer colour than it looks on camera. Again, absolutely perfect for doing those, for practicing those stitches in. Oh, look. More thread painting opportunity, and how beautiful is that fabric. Reminds me of my granny for some reason. I think she might have had a sofa covered in something like this. Oh, that set me off again. So Christine has shown before. If you follow Christine, you'll have seen she's shown. Oh, the camera does not do these colours justice. That's more of a much more of a yellowish green than it looks there. More of a, what would you call it? A leaf green, probably. It looks quite a dark jadey green there on camera, but it's not. And this is some of Christine's Nana's rickrack. That is really special to have that. I can't. It must be quite hard to part with, and but know that it's going to a very good home. I will treasure it. I will so enjoy using it and featuring it in at least this project. Probably more than one project, I imagine. I'm snivelling now. I should have brought tissues. Let's put that to one side with that. Some more beautiful trims. I'm going to be forever. Can't wait to start this project. Oh, this is so lovely, this lace. Really delicate, and yeah, it just feels lovely. Oh, look at this little piece. Embroidery anglaise. Which way up is it? I can't decide. It looks nice both ways actually. I think it's meant to be that way. The very first time I ever saw Christine, she was working on one of Roxy's projects. It was the garden one, and she'd got lace and she was painting it. She was colouring the lace to make as part of her garden scene. That was the very first of Christine's videos that I saw, and straight away seeing her do that, I just thought, this is my kind of person. Look at that crocheted lace, that one. It's an unusual one. Reminds me a little bit of the filet net I've been making ready to embroider into. It's been my golden hands project for this month, making filet net, and then next month I'm going to embroider into it. Well, actually we're already into next month now, so very pretty. Oh, there's kind of chiffon lace, this one. That's lovely, kind of apricot, really like a pale apricot colour. Camera's kind of showing it but not really doing it justice. Lovely long piece of that. I'll try and whiz through a bit more. I'm going to go back through them all again. As soon as I finish filming, I'll be going back through again. Oh, sweet. You can imagine that as a little trim on a cuff of a little girl's dress or something like that. I love these ones that you can put the ribbon through. It's an unusual one, isn't it? How do they make it like that so it looks nice both sides? You almost can't tell which is meant to be the right side. I wasn't going to, because I wouldn't have had enough material to do it, but I'm thinking now I could put a different edge on each page as well. It'd be nice, which will make a difference to how I put the book together, so I'll need to bear that in mind. I might have to stop and get a tissue. Oh, look at this. I don't think it's crocheted. I think it must be bobbin lace. I don't know. If anybody knows, tell me. And I mean, you can do beautiful things with these laces by dyeing them and things as well. if you can bring yourself to do it, it looks absolutely gorgeous. But for this project, these colours just as they are just perfect. This is a gorgeous colour. There's a few pieces of this colour. It's definitely more of an apricot than a peach. It's a slightly warmer colour than it looks again on camera. There's something about my camera that sort of takes out a slight yellowness to it. It's definitely more towards apricot, that one. Oh, look at this. Wow. Again, more like a very, very pale shade of apricot. Very beautiful colour in real life. Look at it close up. Wow. I can't, seriously, I'm quite overwhelmed with this. Look. It's sort of like bridal, isn't it? Although this is actually a pink, but it very much feels like bridal. So beautiful. I wish you could see it in real life. You'd be dribbling too, I promise. And colour being washed out a bit by the camera. That is like a pale apricot. Love the design of that. It's quite unusual, the design of that lace, isn't it? And one thing I quite like to do is to embroider into lace as well, which you definitely could do with that. A real vintage looking piece, this one. Look at this. Christine, I can't, seriously. This is overwhelmingly kind of you. I just, yeah, whoa. I was going to say, if I've got anything that you want or need, give me a shout. I haven't got anything like as special as this. I just haven't. If there ever is anything, just shout. Oh, look. Now this ties in so well to something else I was going to show you. I will just have to give you a very brief glimpse of at the end now, because it's just going to go on too long otherwise, and I'll come back and show it properly another day. But this, you'll remember that. Remember in a minute. Remember this. Look at the work somebody has done. I've forgotten what it's called, but it's this way of doing a plique where they turn the edges under as they go. There's a name for that and I can't think what it is now. And I've seen it in books, but I don't think I've ever seen a piece close up in real life. Look at the tiny hand stitching around that. I mean, it would be the only way you could do it. You could not get that effect with a machine, could you? What a lot of work has gone into that by someone. And I can incorporate pieces of this into my pages and then add my own stitching to it. And because, you know, you could argue that it's a shame to cut into these pieces, but I think Christine would agree to. Look at that tiny herringbone. I think that's what it is. Yes, I think Christine would agree with me, because I know she, you know, cuts pieces and uses them and turns them into things that are useful and things that you can enjoy looking at again, you know, because after all, you find them in op shops, charity shops, thrift stores, or on eBay or whatever, and whoever made them in the first place is probably no longer here, and whoever they were given to either is also no longer here or no longer wants them. So if you can find another way to use them and enjoy them again, and I think that's beautiful. Look at the subtle the colour difference here. I wonder how they've done that. It's just so beautiful. So yeah, all of this I will be able to enjoy again as part of my book. I'm so thrilled with this. I need to move these because they keep catching my eye. Look at these gorgeous threads. Lovely, lush, kind of red violet there. And look at this. I think you call this colour écru. Crochet cotton, quite a fine one. Yeah, there's a thing inside there. Mercer crochet. Yeah, the mercerised ones are supposed to be better for crochet because they don't split and things. I think that's what it is. Oh, look at these little labels. They're like sticky labels. Do you think that's for if you wind them off into skeins or something? Isn't it gorgeous? How lovely is that going to be to stitch with? Oh, I feel so lucky. This looks like a mat to match that, doesn't it? Yes, I would say so. Definitely done by the same hand, I would say. So a tray cloth and a mat. Oh, look at that close up. Oh, I'm gobsmacked. Peeling that apart. It's been starched and ironed that. This little sweet little piece of embroidery here, just cross stitch. It's so lovely how people used to take that time to finish their household linens like that. They probably would have bought them, maybe would have bought the matte plain and just added that to it, or maybe they did all of this as well. I mean, is all of this hand done with a hand blanket stitch? Looking at it close, I can see it closer on the camera than I can with my bare eyes. I think it is. It's kind of not regular enough to be machine, is it? But very, very neat for hand. So they've done that to shape the edge, and then they've trimmed away the excess. Lovely crochet piece. I need to speed through a little bit. I can look at them again by myself in a minute. And these kind of pieces like this are just so lovely worked into a, like if you work onto a pouch or something, and you just applique lots of different pieces on. It's lovely to have some pieces like this, which of course you can dye if you want to, and so many possibilities. There's a lovely delicate piece, really wide lace but really delicate. Also wondering at the possibility of laying it over a plain colour and then again thread painting into part of it. Oh look, oh wow, my goose pimples are rampant. Wow, I've got no words left. Very pretty colour. It's actually fairly true to life on the camera. Again, maybe slightly warmer, but it's doing a better job of that than it was of the apricot. It's a very pretty little fine braid. I'm thinking one way to use some of these things might be to do lines in between my samples of stitching. It could be a really pretty way to use some of these lovely little trims. Oh, how delicate is that? Look. You can imagine people putting this on to edge kind of silk underwear and things like that. So pretty. I do wish the camera would do a better job. I need to speed myself up. I'm going to whiz through a few now and just come back afterwards and have a look. Oh look, that's unusual. Look how unusual is that? I don't think I've ever seen one quite like that. Isn't it pretty? So when I come back in a couple of days to start my vintage stitchery, I will pull all of these together with the other parcel I've just shown, I've just opened, from Cassie in Australia, which had the vintage organza and chiffon in, and the fabrics that I bought from I think they're called Love Me Blue, vintage pack of fabrics, and my vintage threads I got from eBay. And I'm just going to sit there like a pig in the proverbial, surrounded by all these gorgeous things, probably paralysed with choice. Oh, it's a pretty, what my granny would have called this, a rose pink. Just dribblingly beautiful. And my arms are hurting with goose pimples now. They just keep going up and down. It looks like it would have been for a collar, I would say. Oh look, tiny little embroidered scallop pimpernels on there. How pretty is that? This definitely looks kind of bridal looking. This with the flowers on it. I don't see anything quite like that. Look at that, they've all got these tiny little silk flowers on. See, pieces like this edging the pages, that could look really pretty. Although it seems a bit sacrilege, there's something making me want to colour the inside these petals. Might have to try a little piece. Christine's been experimenting with using her Inktense blocks to colour fabric, so I'm just wondering maybe I could try a little bit at this end just to see how it looks. Lovely little motif like a rose. This reminds me a little bit of the filo embroidery that I'm going to be doing in a bit. I'm going to have a lovely time going back through all these again in a minute. It's got to be bridal, hasn't it? I think. I was never the kind of bride who had a veil and things, but pretty. So I've never looked at anything like this really close up before, but I love all the sequins and beading in it. It's a hell of a lot of work in something like that, isn't there? No wonder these things are so expensive. Bridal veils and things. Oh, look at that. It looks proper vintage. Looks like it's been used and washed a few times, doesn't it? Love it. How have they done that even? How has that been done? I had a little go when I was in my boho bunting. I had a little go at this thing where I think that must be what it is. You start with the base piece of fabric, which in this case would have been this white cotton, and you embroider a shape on it, and then you do shapes in between, which you do a tiny blanket stitch over. Now if I get this to if it will focus. So you do a tiny blanket stitch over these lengths of thread that you run between, and then you cut away the fabric in between them. Now if this has all been done like that is a hell of a lot of work. Again, to me that's crying out to have some colour added. It does look, I mean, that does look like tiny hand done blanket stitch there, doesn't it? Hang on, focus for me. And yeah, you can see there where the fabric between has been snipped. I think that must be what it is. Crikey. I mean, I quite enjoyed doing the little bit I did, but it was so simple, the piece that I did, compared to this. Yeah, if you look at it there, this section, you can see that is how it's been done. My word. I wonder what it would have been used as. It looks like it's cut from a big piece, doesn't it? Would it have been hung as a curtain? So this has been embroidered onto a fine net, and you can see that the net is doubled up, embroidery over the top, which I think looks like, what do you think? It looks like what is that, like a whipped back stitch or something, do you think? Done in like a silk thread. I think some of these pieces I'm just going to give them a page all of their own as an example of stitching all on their own. Another example of that, where they've done the blanket stitch and then cut away to create this interesting shaped edge. And I love that it's not perfect, is it? It's not perfectly symmetrical because it's handmade. And here you can see they've embroidered all of the shape, and then they've cut away certain areas so you can see through. Interesting little idea. Maybe if you're doing the stitchery swap with the optional theme being windows, might be an interesting idea to try. That is the neatest blanket stitch ever though, isn't it? I think you'd have to go around and do a back stitch all the way around first, and then blanket stitch over that. Oh, look at this. I love this little. Now I think this is, and again I'm thinking I could just put it as a little sample in the book just by itself. I think this is this drawn thread work? Any knowledgeable needleworkers out there? Something I'd love to try. So maybe I could put this, so as well as doing all of Christine's stitches, I could also do things like drawn thread work, black work, all those kinds of techniques, do little samples of them, and I could put this in as a sample and then see if I can do some myself. Maybe that's not something I was planning, but it's lovely when something like this comes to you and gives you a whole other idea. This looks like it was half of a tray cloth, or you know, a large kind of rectangular doily, beautifully done in, I think that's crocheted lace, probably. It's just lovely, it's just lovely. Beautiful hand cross stitched on some household linen. This would have been, you know, a tray cloth or something again, or a chair back, or someone's done this little cross stitch motif. But here they've done something to the edge to create those holes. There's little holes that they've then gone into with a fine crochet hook to make this this little picot edging. So pretty, and I have to try that as well. Look how neat they are on the back. No messy backsides here. Lovely little trim around the edge, and then all of this hand stitching. It is so sweet, isn't it, that somebody would have, you know, say you're bringing somebody breakfast in bed and you put a little tray together, and they'd have a little vase with the flower in it, and put a little pretty tray cloth and a nice handmade tea cosy on the proper teapot. Oh. That's the right side. I always love it as well. I love colour, but I do love the look of this kind of same colour stitching on whatever the colour the background is, when the stitching is the same colour. And it's just the texture of it that shows. I love that too. I don't know how this is done. I do think I fancy having a section in my little book of pieces like this, find out what they are and how they do them, and then try to replicate them, as well as just using pieces like this in, you know, in other projects. These ladies knew what they were doing, didn't they? Here's another piece like that other one. Another piece like that other one. Tells you nothing, does it? You know what I mean, though. I'm just in awe of the amount of work in that. And I do think, as I say, although it seems like sacrilege, it's kind of crying out to have a bit of colour added. Do I dare? Do I dare? It's just going to inspire so many ideas. I'm nearly at the bottom now, I promise. And when I show you in a minute the other, just briefly show you, I haven't got time to show you properly, the other thing that I'll show properly when I start my stitchery. I've lost my thread, so to speak. This all marries up very well with the other thing. That's what I was trying to say. Sweet, sweet little mat. A bit bolder, these, aren't they? Really fun. Gorgeous colours. I wonder what they were going to be used for, what they were cut from. There's lots of this kind of cut work. Is it called cut work? Is that the name of it? Oh, I'm going to have to look it all up now. I love a bit of research. Beautiful. This is like I think that's a stem stitch there. Is that a stem stitch? Hang on. Or is it an outline stitch? Oh look, these would be lovely for making little fabric collages with, and then stitching into them, thread painting. More thread painting opportunities, definitely. There's little snippets to add in here, and oh, just blown away here, blown away. It's not often I'm lost for words, it really isn't. Christine knows how much I love pansies, and she knows how much I've been wanting to try some thread painting. Well, lovely kind of how do you call it? Is it jacquard? This, I've forgotten what you call it. This kind of fabric. Now the pile of stuff that I'd pulled out to do my book with, which is any kind of things really I had in the colours I wanted, is about the size of what I've got left now. And and included something very like this. But not this is different, but it will fit in really well. But it's got the lovely warm peachy apricot-y kind of colour in, and some of that lovely soft kind of duck egg blue. This is lovely. I wonder where that came from. It's scalloped both edges and it's just sewn into a tube. I wonder what it was for. Well, it's for something else now. Again, that lovely pale apricot-y shade. I just love it. Never seen anything quite like that before with all the numbers on. I wonder if it was for, you know, did that correspond to a colour that you were supposed to put in there? Maybe this is like a washable, I don't know. Is this like a washable ink? So once you've stitched it, you wash that out? I don't know. But I rather like the look of it just like that, actually. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Sweet little piece. Now this reminds, this is like a really fine version of the net I've been wanting to, I've been having a go at making this net to embroider into, and this reminds me of it a bit. It's finer, but yeah, it definitely has that look, and it's making me think I could have a bit of an experiment with that. Looks nice both ways. And what I love is to, you know, to mix these up, put this together with pieces of fabric and things, and then stitch into and around it. And yeah, I like the idea of turning these into the pages or part of the pages, leaving this little beautiful example of stitching here, and then adding my own stitching as well. Just gonna be just perfect. It's very 20s looking, maybe 30s looking, this design. So it looks like blanket stitch here to make these scallops, but they get deeper and deeper towards the middle of the scallop, and then there's this extra little picot been done off the edge of the blanket stitch, which is an interesting effect I might have a go at as well. I'll be learning from these long gone stitchers how to do some of their techniques. I want to know how to do this. That's very pretty, isn't it? How do they do this, and what is it called? If anyone knows anything about, do feel free. Any information or helpful advice, please just put it in the comments. How would they have put this together? About any of the things that I've looked at. I would love to have a go at replicating some of these. I'll probably make a poor job of it compared to some of these, but somehow they've created these holes along the edge. Hang on. First, I think, and then they've come back in with a crochet hook and the crochet cotton to make that little picot edge. Oh, look at this! It looks like a pinny or something. Oh, it is this little pinny, isn't it? Oh, with the little pocket in it. This was somebody's pinny. It's got me again now. It's so well worn. It's particularly worn here, as you can imagine it would be. Oh look, a little tiny yellow daisy. Utterly, utterly blown away. Oh, here, right at the bottom. I wonder if I was meant to find that at the top and I've opened the whole thing upside down. Oh look, that's a bit of a departure, isn't it? I love that as well. That is so completely different, but isn't it amazing? Oh, I love it. I love it. Like, I'm going to see what Christine says now. Dearest Annie, I wanted to send you a little package of creative joy for your birthday, even though it's sure to be late. It wasn't. It was 2 days early. I was right. The theme is your Miss Cheatham. I'm gone. The theme is your Miss Cheatham stitchery and some Wonder Woman fabric, because that's what you are. And it reminded me of your whatnots. I hope you know how much our friendship means to me. Lots of love, Christine. Oh, I'm just, honestly, anybody watching this will know how incredible this pile of goodies is. I'm going to put all this here for my thumbnail. Now I really need to go and get a tissue, because it's going to get embarrassing in a minute. I've been recording that for an hour. That is crazy. I'm going to have to cut that right down. Christine, I can't tell you how that has absolutely put the icing on the cake for my birthday. I can't. I'm glad I made myself wait now. I'm going to sit and go through all of that again in a minute, and it will all come out in a few days when it's all just so perfect for my vintage stitchery project, and it's going to change a couple of things about the way I do it because I've just got so much scope here. Just briefly, I haven't got time to show you, but here is a pile. Christine, no, I'm going to go back to the desk. I was jealous because I watched one of Christine's videos where someone had sent her some embroidery transfers, vintage embroidery transfers, and I thought, oh, I've got to see if I can get some of those to go with my vintage threads and my vintage fabrics for my vintage stitchery. So I did a bid on eBay and I got these now. I only paid about, I think it was £11.50 plus whatever the postage was, and they all came, they were just stuffed in this brown paper bag, which is how the person had left them. And these, I didn't know quite, I knew they were vintage but didn't know how vintage. The oldest one I found that I can date is 1922, and then there was one oddly later one like 1962, but mostly they're the 1930s, and it's just all different embroidery transfers. Lots of them are made by Briggs, who are the company who made the vintage threads that I've got to play with. Most of them were given away with magazines, so there was all different women's needlework magazines, and it's incredible to me to think that even back in the 30s there were people buying magazines for the free gift, the same as I do now. Or I've stopped myself doing it these days, but I used to do that a lot, and hoarding them away and never quite getting time to use them because they're still all here and most of them don't look like they've been used at all. So I haven't got time to show them now. I was going to show it all at the same time. I just didn't realise quite how much was going to be in this incredible parcel. I just want to quickly get my thumbnail. Hang on. I will show them properly when I come to start the vintage stitchery project in a couple of days. I cannot wait. Seeing all of this now, I'm just so excited. I just don't want to do anything else. Yeah, itching to get in there. Christine, I don't know what to say. I'm utterly overwhelmed. It's not just that it's just such lovely stuff, it's that I can see how much thought she's put into putting it all together. It's perfect for what I'm doing. And the pieces are just so beautiful. I'm utterly blown away. I know she's away. I know she's away on holiday at the moment, so she won't see this straight away. So I might drop her a message and just let her know how much I love it. I've got to stop waffling now because this is crazy. I'm going to have to do a lot of editing on this. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you again really, really soon. Got to go get tissue now.